Hey y'all, I am Chelsea of Knitting Tipsy and welcome to my new series called Magickal Making. If you're an artist or a creative, you have probably been complimented before on your work, and maybe people have likened it to magic or sorcery or witchcraft because of how easy you make it look or how incredible your art is. Especially in the yarny world, we get the jokes a lot that we use our magic wands, our hooks or our needles, and we turn string into something amazing, and it's sorcery, it's witchcraft. And while I do love the analogy, it's meant to be comical, it's meant to be cute, I actually think there's a lot of truth to it. Art, creation, the artistic process, these things have all been linked to magic since the beginning of human creativity. Artists take seemingly nothing, just these raw materials or a vision, a hope or a dream, and they transform it into something new and unique and beautiful. So call it alchemical, call it sorcery, call it witchcraft, many have, but the creation process, it is magical and it is something truly unique and beautiful. Now, if you follow me on Instagram, you may know that I am a little bit witchy. I started getting into some, I think my brother likes to call them woo-woo practices, but I started getting into witchcraft and witchy things a couple years ago. I have found things like tarot, crystals, wearing crystal jewelry, it makes me feel more powerful and compassionate and loving, and there are different crystals for different things. I also just really like the look of them. I've gotten into energy work and just looking at things differently from different perspectives. I think believing in a magical world allows us to be more open in our thinking and compassionate in our thinking, connected to nature, and I don't know, I find myself feeling like a better person and my truest self the more I lean into my witchiness. I'm definitely in my boho witchy aunt era. I'm just embracing it. I'm embracing the lifestyle. But as I've gotten more and more into the craft and these practices, I have developed some rituals and techniques and other practices that I think help infuse my yarny life with my beliefs. So that's kind of what I want to do with this series. I want to bring witchiness and yarniness together. I'm calling it Magickal Making. If you're not into the woo-woo stuff, fear not. I'm not trying to convert you by any means. I am just sharing my lifestyle and the things that I do and combining it with a yarny project. If you don't like the idea of magical making, you could consider it mindful making or making with intention. Because really, a lot of this stuff is the same thing. I might say I'm sending you positive energy, I'm sending you healing energy. Other people might say I'm sending you prayers. A lot of witchcraft is just spicy psychology. I've heard it called before. Many of the practices that I do with my beliefs are part of things that I've learned in therapy and with my mental health expert, my therapist. So yeah, if you decide to come along this journey with me to watch the series, you can just take what you like and leave what you don't. So before we get started on our first project, I just want to show you guys I am in a different location than I normally am. For some reason, I just felt like I wanted to be outside for this. My backyard is one of my favorite places. It is where I do a lot of my witchy rituals. I feel very connected to nature here, and it's just one of my favorite places. So let me give you a little tour of my backyard here. This is our backyard. We're sitting in my little Adirondack area. This is our house and our lanai. This is the backside of the house. This is my beautiful palm tree. His name is Papa Noel. He's an Adonidia, or a Christmas palm, and he's one of my besties. I have wanted a palm tree in our yard for as long as we've had the yard, as long as we moved into the house, and we got Papa about 2 years ago, and I just think he is so magical and so wonderful and very tropical. He's my bud. He has some friends on the other side in our neighbor's yard. Those are queen palm trees. We also have this incredible oak tree in our yard. I love sitting out on the lanai in the mornings We have a whole community of squirrels who live in this tree, and they will run around and play on it. I don't think you can see, but on the other side of the tree, I have a macrame swing, and the squirrels like to play on it. They do flips on it and chase each other around. It's really cute and really fun. Sometimes I set up my inflatable swimming pool out here. I do moon rituals out here. Yeah, it's just one of my favorite places to be. So I felt like that's kind of where, at least for this first episode, I should start. Just feels like my magic place. The first project, what I'm going to start with in this series, is kind of the whole reason that I thought of doing it. As soon as I saw this pattern, I knew I wanted to make it, and I knew I wanted to make it for witchy purposes. It is the Therese Dress by Elizabeth Margaret Designs. When I first saw this dress, I just fell in love with it. It's so beautiful. It's feminine. It gives off divine feminine energy. It's a little bit sheer, so it has that sensuality, but it's light and breezy and beachy, and I knew I was absolutely going to make it. It also reminded me a lot of moon rituals and the High Priestess. Now, if you're not into tarot, this is the High Priestess. This is from my tarot deck. This is the second card of 78, and people who don't know much about tarot, I have found, sometimes think it is like evil or devil cards or something that people pull out, you know, like a Ouija board, or trying to predict the future. I'm not saying that some people don't use tarot cards for divination, if that's part of someone's practice or their beliefs, but there's so many reasons that people might do tarot, and it might have nothing to do with divination. A tarot deck has 78 cards, each with their own imagery and symbolism and meaning. These cards represent life, its journey, spiritual losses, and the trials and tribulations that we face on a daily basis. So again, lots of reasons people might use them. For me personally, tarot is a tool for self-exploration. Tarot cards can be looked at as journal prompts, and when I pull tarot, I find that the cards help me sit with my emotions, understand them, the situations that I'm in currently, and they also help me manifest goals and dreams for myself that I have. Tarot has helped me with my mental health just so incredibly much. It is one of the best tools in my mental health toolkit that I have. But really and truly, this is not going to be a video that is all about tarot. I just wanted to give you an overview in case you have no idea what tarot is. If you're interested, I'm just gonna plug a book for you. It's called What the Fuck is Tarot and How Do I Do It? This book is by Bakara Wintner, I think is how you pronounce her name. And it's the first book that I had on tarot. It's a great introduction, and she relates it a lot to her life. I love where she's coming from, where anybody can do tarot. You don't have to be a tarot reader, and that tarot is for everyone. If you're not into books, Biddy Tarot Online is also a great resource. Okay, so this dress is giving off strong High Priestess energy to me. So what is the High Priestess? The High Priestess is the guardian of the subconscious mind. She is the embodiment of the divine feminine. She's the teacher of sacred knowledge, and she encourages us to look deeper and explore our innermost thoughts, our dreams, our emotions, our shadows. She also encourages us to nurture and trust our own intuition. This card often shows up in readings when the veil between the underworld or other worlds, the subconscious, is thin, and it allows us to access knowledge that might be hidden deep within us. So personally, for me, I struggle to trust my intuition. I have generalized anxiety disorder, I have panic disorder, I have depression. So trusting myself is not a skill I have developed over the years, but I'm working hard to. I feel really connected to this card. I feel like it's reaching out to me because I'm reaching out to it. I would love to have more faith in myself, more belief in myself, to trust myself more, and I find that that's the energy of this card. And again, this card is about divine feminine energy. It's about being a woman and being okay with your sensuality and your shadows, and I think in our society today, those are things that are frowned upon. Just look at the comments on any video where a girl has the audacity to believe in herself or to think she looks beautiful. You will often find comments from men sometimes women too, which is sad, but you'll find comments that really try to shut women down. So this card, I do feel like, teaches us to embrace our sensuality and embrace those qualities that are female energy, that have female energy. Compassion and empathy are often thought of as feminine traits. Sensitivity is often thought of as a feminine trait. I know I was told when I was young that I was too sensitive. And for a long time, I saw my compassion and I saw my empathy and I saw my sensitivity as a weakness. But it's not. It is a fucking superpower. So all of those things making this card the High Priestess, I want to think about those thoughts. I want to embody that, you know, feminine strength, feminine sensuality, connection to the divine feminine, and trusting myself into this project. That is the energy I'm hoping to put stitch by stitch into this project. If you are somebody who knitting puts you into a meditative state, just turn off the noise, go outside, really focus on the rhythm of your needles, and you might find yourself kind of in this, I don't know if it's a trance-like state or just, you know, your thoughts have quieted a little bit. It's easier to think, you feel calmer. And in that moment, it's a great time to start putting intentions. You can repeat affirmations, you can repeat prayers, anything that you want. And I believe that that energy will go directly into the project that you're working on. So I've created a few affirmations for myself that I feel are High Priestess affirmations that I plan to think about while I'm knitting. The first one is, I value and trust my intuition. I believe in myself. The more you say affirmations, the more power they have. If you do affirmation work, you may have that moment days, weeks, months, years from when you first start your affirmation, whenever it's something that you truly start to believe. That's happened to me for a few of them, and it is truly magical. A couple others that I created are, I am peace, I am strong, I am love. And the last one is, I courageously express my visions, creativity, and authentic self to the world. Okay, so now that we've got some of the witchy shit we've talked about, let's talk about some of the yarny shit. So the Therese Dress is suggested to be made with DK Tencel yarn. The designer, Elizabeth, she used Busy Peach DK Tencel in hers. I'm actually going to be using True Boo for mine. If you've never worked with Lion Brand True Boo before, it is amazing. The drape with this yarn is so incredible. It also has, I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it here with the lighting changing coming through the trees, but it has this gorgeous sheen to it. I just love it. It is so soft, it is so lightweight, it is so drapey. It's pretty perfect for a High Priestess dress. The construction for this dress is really cool. You make garter stitch saddles at the shoulders first, and then you pick up stitches along the sides of the saddle to make the front and back of the neckline of the dress. I love this deep V in the back of the dress. It is definitely one of the reasons that this pattern stuck out to me. And I do think that the scoop in the front is beautiful. I think it's beautiful, but I am who I am, and I'm going to attempt to make some modifications to this dress. The pattern itself is very well thought out. It is very well written, and while nothing is challenging, there are no really challenging stitches. There are certain sections where you're doing increases while you're also doing shaping. So there's sometimes a lot to keep in mind, multiple steps to do at a time while working different sections. When we get to the neckline, I will show you more of what I'm thinking. You'll probably see multiple attempts. But what I'm thinking of doing is, first, if possible, if it ends up working out, I kind of want to keep the scoop. I would just like the scoop to be scoopier. Instead of something that's hitting around just below my collarbones, I would like something that shows a little décolletage. My thought is once you're picking up along the saddles, you do some short row shaping, and then almost immediately, I think you work maybe a row or two, you are casting on stitches. You do it one side and then the other and then knit them together. So the front and back panels are knit flat and then you join at the armpits or the bust. But I think in that section right after the short row shaping, I might be able to just add some length so that my scoop scoops lower. If that doesn't work, or if I am not happy with the result, my other option is to mimic the front and the back of the dress so that they will both have deep plunging V's. Now, I am a little concerned that if I do that, I'm going to have some issue with the dress falling off my shoulders, because I do think the scoop in the front kind of holds it onto your shoulders. Whether you're wearing that V in the front or the back, the shoulders aren't going to slip off that way. But if I have a V in the front and a V in the back, I could see the shoulders, it being very easy for them to fall over. Options to remedy that, I could add a tie to the back of the neck of one of the V's, and then that would very clearly be the back. It would no longer be reversible, but it would be a dress that has the ties at the back. I've done that with my Very Vero V-neck. I've done that with my Friendship Has Lace Borders top, so I'm very comfortable with that technique. Something else that I considered doing is maybe adding elastic around the neckline. That could hold it onto my shoulders more. And if I wanted to, get a little fun with it, it might even be able to become a little bit of an off the shoulder top without it slipping off. I think that elastic could keep it on. And lastly, if that doesn't work, then I think I am just going to go back to the original pattern and I'm just going to wear the V in the front of my top instead of having that V in the back, and the scoop neck will be the back of the dress for me. Another pretty easy modification that I want to make, I'll pop in a picture here, but there are some really cute side slits, and then you have a front and a back panel of the dress. Take a guess what I want to do. I want to make it slittier. Sluttier, slittier, sluttier. I do want to make the slits in that dress much higher. I've read through the pattern. I don't think it's going to be complicated to do, so I'm hoping to have the slits at my high thigh. But other than that, I think the pattern looks awesome. I think the dress looks great. It's intended to be worn with 6 to 10 inches of positive ease. I think my dress is gonna come out right around 7 inches of positive ease in the bust. I am still debating if I wanna go up one more size. So I would have upwards of 10 inches in the bust, but it would also make it roomier in the booty, because I am a curvy girl. Woo! Gauge for the pattern is 21 stitches and 32 rows. This is giving you 4 inches in stockinette on your larger needles. So I went ahead the other day and I did my gauge swatch, and let me show you what my yarn is going to look like. Yes, I did block it. I did like the proper knitting thing, y'all. I even blocked my gauge swatch. I don't always do that. Don't tell. But here is the Trubu, and I'm so happy that it's a little bit windy right now, so you can just see how drapey this yarn is. And I do think that Elizabeth's sample was a little bit sheerer than mine, but there's definitely some sheerness to it. So I think this is beautiful. It looks silky and shimmery, and I'm very excited that this is the fabric that I'll be able to create. So there's really nothing left to do but get started on this project. I'm gonna go ahead and take in a moment to set my intention here. I do have some fun stitch markers for my project. These are pearl stitch markers. I believe one is from Made by Haley Bailey and one is from Yesenia Studios. I could be wrong on that though. I'm gonna double check, but I do think so, and they are beautiful pearls. Pearls are associated with the ocean and with the moon. The moon goddess Selene and the high priestess. So these are the stitch markers I'm going to use, and I'm going to go ahead and cast on. So while I'm casting on here, I thought I would talk a little bit more about some of my witchy practices and how I plan to use this dress. So I said that I feel very connected to the High Priestess card, and the High Priestess, again, that divine feminine energy, the mystery, the unknown, a lot of times is also connected with the moon. And Selene is the moon goddess who I just love, and there's so much information and lore and mystery about her too. But Selene's name means light. She's often seen bathing in the ocean and riding a chariot at night. She literally lights a path in the darkness. And I think for anybody who has experience with anxiety or depression, that light in the darkness can just feel so hopeful and so magical. Some of the moon rituals that I like to do during full and new moons, I really like to make moon water. It's super easy to make if you've never tried it before. You need to cleanse a clear vessel of some kind, a glass bottle. You can use plastic, I think glass is better, and set it out under the moonlight. If you don't have a place outside to do it, you can put it on a windowsill, and it absorbs the moon's energy, and you can use that water for cleaning your house and kind of clearing out negative energy. You can use it in your bath water to help you recharge and cleanse yourself. You can use it in spells and witchcraft if you are into that. I like to use it in making my Sea Witch soak, which is my witchy yet gentle wool wash that I sell in my shop. So lots of ways to use moon water, and that's a really fun practice to get into. I have to plug my amazing friend Nikki and her company Wide Island Designs. She does the artwork for those beautiful sea creatures, and you can find lots of t-shirts and water bottles and cell phone covers in her shop that are very oceanic and awesome. But back to the moon rituals. Some other rituals that you can do if you want to try to get into it are during new moons. This is a great time for manifesting your dreams, writing them down, putting them under the moonlight, charging crystals to help foster the energy that you want going forward. These are really fun things to do during new moons. Full moons are also a great time to cleanse your crystals. If you leave them out under the moonlight, they kind of get recharged and cleansed. The full moon is also a wonderful time if you want to practice letting go. I love to write down things that I'm trying to let go of, energy that I'm trying to let go of in my life, and put it on paper and then burn it over a fire in a fire-safe dish, and just let those ashes go and visualize all that negative shit leaving. And if you have access to water in the form of a river or a lake or the ocean, a pond even, it's a really great time to go and ground and sit with nature. I love going to the ocean on full and new moons. It makes me so happy, and I can absolutely picture myself wearing my Therese dress, doing some of these rituals on the beach or even just at my house under the full and new moons. One more kind of witchy thing that I thought I would talk about is color magic. The color yarn that I chose, the Silver Trubu, I did that very intentionally. Color magic is the idea that colors have energies. Think about wearing red and how that makes you feel. A lot of times we will wear it when we want to feel powerful or passionate, or that kind of power business suit color I just think about sometimes. A lot of people decorate their homes and their bedrooms or their bathrooms in colors that are calming and soothing, or bright if you want to feel those emotions and that energy too. I chose silver because silver is, in color magic, a color of feminine energy. It is considered to be related to the goddess in the moon, intuition, divination, and spiritual protection. If color magic sounds interesting to you, give it a Google. It's a really easy way to incorporate some witchiness and some energy practices into your daily life. So that is the start of Magickal Making and the start of my Therese Dress. I'm gonna go ahead and pop in a picture here of the 2 saddles, the garter stitch saddles, once they are done. And in our next episode of Magickal Making, I am going to pick up for the front and back necklines. I will probably film those videos in segments and then put them all together, because I am assuming that there's going to be some trial and error through it as I talk through it, and figure out the best look, the best fit for the dress that I want. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me. This has been a project that I've been so excited about, but also a little nervous because I know not everyone is into this stuff, but I hope that you found something interesting, something valuable from it. I hope that you are as excited about this dress as I am. If you would like to cast on a Therese with me, please feel free. I would love to finish the Therese dress by the summer solstice in June, but I don't know if that's realistic. As of today is April 17th, so that would give me approximately 2 months to do it. This is a long dress. It is in DK weight. I'm not putting any self-imposed deadlines on myself for this project, but I will tentatively put that as a goal for myself. But if I don't finish it until July, August, September, October, that is absolutely fine. So if you want to make this along with me, just know you are not on a timeline either, or you can just pop in to see the progress with the dress. Again, thank you so much for watching. If you have a friend who would enjoy this, please feel free to share it with them. Please like, comment, subscribe, you know the deal. And I'll see y'all next time.